started out on this series, people sent in recordings of themselves reading aloud their favourite poems. We then created 9 recitals, consisting of 9 poems on various themes from those contributions. The series proved popular, and when the series went online, we received some more wonderful contributions that were too good not to be shared. We decided to present this material as our epilogue. We've divided this mixed bag into 3 sections, the first of which you will see today, which includes 3 original pieces. The second section will bring us the voices of some veterans and legends of Cork Theatre, and the final section will round out our cat-inspired production with some feline fun and frolics. Thank you again for joining us, and we hope you enjoy our noble call. Ryan Morgan was brought up in Merthyr Tydfil, Wales. Ryan is a professional singer and singing teacher. He has sung for the President of Ireland, Ministers of State, foreign dignitaries, and the inaugural voyages of cruise ships. Among his qualifications are Master of Music, Master of Law, Doctor of Philosophy, and at one point he was a milk monitor, until he dropped the crate. Ryan lives in Cove and still maintains a Welsh accent. He's not putting it on. He rhymes to while the time between nervous breakdowns.
You are what you repeatedly do, according to Aristotle. In which case your acts evidence the facts. You're the epitome of evil. Your familiar form, shorn of your horns, masks the beast within. Nihilistically resplendent, garbed in your resentment, disguised in a person's skin. Your ceramic smile filters your bile, adding saccharin. It honeys the lies that yet attract flies like an overflowing bin. Bearing gifts between your lips, tempting to put a hand into your bite, teeth sharpened by spite, risking the jaws of the damned. Your breath smells of ash, and when you move too fast, I describe the twitch of your tail. If you removed your shoes, I'm sure I'd see hooves. The devil's in your details. No hints angelic. Your wings are septic. Your halo forged of despair. Even Lucifer fell first from heaven to hell. You were already waiting there. You're trying to sell a timeshare in hell, where we can share your fate and cohabit your slums with our souls as the funds, a death pledge secured by hate. Your heart went dark. You snuffed out the spark that illuminates the way. And that lamp in others you now want to smother, as their luminance causes you pain. And once everyone is quenched, and in darkness we are drenched, every photon scoured, we'll be husks, dim and done. You'll implode like the last sun, and in the void yourself devour. For, like the Wendigo, you're an unfillable hole, a pit without a bottom, a gravitational well that drags all to hell and ensnares in its event horizon. So get behind me with your unsightly psyche, and I will throw salt in your eyes. You will corrode like rust, or perhaps dissolve just like a slug, Lord of the Flies.
We sat together in the small square room. Late sunshine fell across the kitchen floor. In yellow patches I could hear the boom of turning tide along the island shore. Why, yes, the old man shifted in his chair. That's grandfather's own chart hung by the door. And that's his compass on the shelf up there. He knew the world and foreign parts before most island boys had learned their ABCs and how to cipher. He stood 6'2". It's queer to think a man like that should freeze, sealing up north in Greenland, but it's true. And him not 40, here I'm 80-odd, and not been south of Boston. I guess he'd say, folk nowadays are like as peas in a pod, and one port same's another all the way, Eastport to Hong Kong. He'd be right at that. The kettle rocked with steam, the clock ticks told the minutes off between us as we sat. His eyes were age-filmed and his hands so old they might have been dead roots. Dead roots, I thought. It can't be long before he's bound to go, after his grandfather, to that same port that's north of time, too far for charts to show. How currents run, what hidden reefs are near, what headlands jut, what harbours to explore, or such a brass-bound compass serve to steer the cruising souls along an unknown shore.
Lillian Courtney is an ICF corporate business and personal coach, strategist, and spirit workshop facilitator. Having performed in many productions, big bands, and on her own, running her own radio show and an award-winning short film producer, Lillian's love for music, writing, and stage are now combined with her coaching.
Do not allow life to mould you into solid stone, fearing the unknown. When a boat comes into the harbour of your life, offering gold, do not allow it to drift away, standing by the edge of life, regretting its image of existence as it passes the horizon without you. The chance is lost and gone forever until you wait at the shore of life once again for this boat to return or not. As time passes by, old, feeble, and sitting at the shore of life, to not have the youthful energy to board when it returns. Now, my children, fly free.
When you're up against the trouble, meet it squarely, face to face. Lift your chin, set your shoulders, plant your feet and take a brace. When it is vain to try to dodge it, do the best that you can do. You may fail, but you may conquer. See it through. Black may be the clouds about you, and your future may seem grim, but don't let your nerve desert you. Keep yourself in fighting trim. If the worst is bound to happen, in spite all that you can do, running from it will not save you. See it through. Even hope may seem but futile, when with troubles you're beset, but remember you are facing just what other men have met. You may fail, but fall still fighting. Don't give up whate'er you do. Eyes front, head high to the finish. See it through.
Shove off from the wharf edge steady, watch for a smooth give way. If she feels the lop already, she'll stand on her head in the bay. It's ebb, it's dusk, it's blowing. The shoals are a mile of white, but snatch her along we're going to find our master tonight. For we hold that in all disaster of shipwreck, storm or sword, a man must stand by his master when once he has pledged his word. Raging seas we rode in, but we seldom saw them thus. Our master is angry with Odin. Odin is angry with us. Heavy odds have we taken, but never before such odds. The gods know they are forsaken. We must risk the wrath of the gods. Over the crest she flies from, into its hollow she drops, cringes and clears her eyes from the wind-torn breaker tops. Here out on the shrieking shoulder of a hill-high surge she drives. Meet her and hold her. Pull for your scoundrel lives. The thunder below and clamour, the harm that they mean to do. There goes Thor's own hammer, cracking the dark in two. Close, but the blow has missed her. Here comes the wind of the blow. Row or the squall'll twist her. Broadside onto it, row. Harkee, Thor of the thunder. We are not here for a jest, for wager, warfare or plunder, or to put your power to test. This work is none of our wishing. We would house at home if we might, but our master's wrecked out fishing. We go to find him tonight. For we hold that in all disaster, as the gods themselves had said, a man must stand by his master till one of the two is dead. That is our way of thinking. Now you can do as you will, while we try to save her from sinking and hold her head to it still. Bail her and keep her moving, or she'll break her back in the trough. Who said the weather's improving, or the swells are taking off? Sodden and chafed and aching, gone in the loins and knees. No matter the day is breaking, and there's far less weight to the seas. Up mass and finish bailing, in oar and out with mead. The rest will be 2 reefs sailing. That was a night indeed. But we hold in it all disaster, and faith we have found it true. If only you stand by your master, the gods will stand by you.
Love and Friendship by Emily Bronte. Love is like the wild rose briar, friendship like the holly tree. The holly is dark when the rose briar blooms, but which will bloom most constantly? The wild rose briar is sweet in spring, its summer blossoms scent the air. Yet wait till winter comes again, and who will call the wild briar fair? Then scorn the silly rose wreath now, and deck thee with the holly sheen, that when December blights thy brow, he still may leave the garland green.
Rude Judes, aka Judith Coffey, scribbled ditties for years, From her childhood in Sydney, Australia, to teenage years in Crosshaven, then those impressionable London years in her 20s and 30s, until she returned home to Ireland for the millennium. Now a resident of Cove, she writes observational witticisms on life from the perspective of middle-aged girls who still want to have fun.
To start with, the shower or soak in the bathtub with wax strips, a razor and a rough body scrub. When all has been plucked and my body is smooth, I smear it in sweet-smelling creams and perfume, and that's when I notice my nails and think, why did I use blue polish? Now the recoat must dry. The makeup begins with a face pack or scrub. My face is now radiant and ready to dub, with eye cream and face cream foundation, and then the blusher, eyeliner, mascara on trend, and lips to be lined before using red gloss. But this can't be done until teeth have been flossed. You may think my face is now made up a treat. Not quite, as I dab it and then I repeat. So now I re-look at the outfit I chose. There's plenty to wear, but I have no new clothes. Mix and match is the phrase I constantly use when trying to make the dress work with the shoes, and clutch bag or handbag or hang from the shoulder. As the shoes are quite plain, the bag can be bolder, and a scarf or a necklace, and bangles and rings, important additions but not too much bling. Though my underwear may be hidden from view, well, coordinated colours is essential too. Ah, feck it, the legs, I've got to cover, false tan that may run, or tights that may ladder. So, now that I know what I'm going to wear, here comes the next panic. What to do with my hair? Do I put on the lotions and rollers to set, or pull it back tight with a bow or hairnet? Maybe a back comb like an electric shock, or 100 brushes for soft shiny locks. But what if it rains or I'm wearing a hat? My hair will go squiffy and totally flat. Sky's getting dark, so I will bring my brolly. If that rain hits my hair, I'll go off my trolley. I've checked the rear view for VPL on my butt. No bra marks, no bulging. I'm ready to strut. The gestation time for this great transformation took longer than God planning human creation.
I heard this story o' Ma'aher. If you haven't Gaelic, it doesn't matter. This rural Ireland tragic tale narrates a sad, seductive scale concerning lust without discretion. Agus beagnach ruddy ella freshen. O'9 fado, on a little farm near Currow, lived Buchel Ma named Micheál Moore, an only son of 34. When work was done at end of day, he'd settle down with cup on tay, and seldom felt the call to stroll, or spend the evening time a goal. His intellectual needs were drawn from books like Peg and Isagon. And so it was, blean in, blean out, our Micheál hadn't moved about. He dreamt of colleens, most men do, but never sinned on Diganto. Meanwhile, up in Clear, a colleen Dass had a bright idea. When Lillian to see her time came by, decided she would like to try aught beag cún, like Currow. No foreign food, not far to go, and there to meet the native clan, and bade her find herself a man. This colleen Dass with eyes so blue was known in town as City Sue. The lusty Bucheli came crawling, they all agreed she was gahauling. She left her men in state of shock. Oh, Micheál Moore, be Coramuck! This scarlet woman knows every trick. She's heading west, beware of Vic. Now the lights shone in the parish hall for the local fáine wearers' ball. The Micheál own, the Susie own, dressed in the most seductive gown. Our brave Cuchulainn from the west, his hurling medals across his chest, exclaimed when City Sue came in, "In annam de wel fecher sin, Though nervous, still, he took a chance. Kid me the falte, will you dance? Galua, on the floor they strut, cheek to cheek, mouth to foot. She whispered into Mihall's ear, I slum now, let's disappear. We'll use my place, the door's unlocked. You'll stay the night. Shamra a hocht. Christ! Mihall's cown was a spin. He roused thinking thoughts mar sin. He blessed himself, this Jezebel will surely damn my soul to hell. He stood aghast, could hardly stutter, and off he bolted ere a roar. And straight awhile into bed. Decades of the rosary said. Mihall Moore still sleeps alone in his labba biog, a chone. He often dreams of Shamra Hocht and what might have been, Mihall Bocht.